Good afternoon, this is Master Kane. I realize it's been quite some time since I did a deck profile video. This particular deck I've been working on for years. It's not really tournament ready because I'm kind of in a budget, and I also don't really go by the whole link stuff because I don't really have the money to get all that kind of stuff. So this is just for fun between me and my friends. But if you have any support on what you think could add the deck, let me know in the comments below. But this is just my fun little Performapal deck. I've got Performapal Swordfish. His effect's pretty self-explanatory for anybody who knows Performapals. This card is normal special summon all monster opponent currently controlled lose 600 attack and defense. And then he's got his other little effect on there, which is basically the same thing if you summon more monsters. Then I've got Performapal Friend Donkey. This card is normal summon. You can pressure one level 4 lower Performapal monster from your hand or graveyard. Performapal Thunder Rhino. One of the cards just kind of went in the graveyard for your protection of your scale and your other monsters. Then Performapal Second Donkey. One that I can use to, send to the graveyard. Then I've got Performapal Teeter Totter Hopper. A Performapal Hand Samoriger, or however you pronounce his name. If you destroy the most monster by battle, you can add one level 5 or higher pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. Then I've got Performapal Bow Hopper. Tribute Performapal monster to either deal damage to your opponent equal to its level times 100, or you can add another Performapal monster from your graveyard to your hand. Performapal Stamp Turtle. Used in my Xyz. Used to help Xyz summon monsters. Then Performapal Longphone Bull. When this card is special summoned, I can add a Performapal monster from my deck to my hand except for a Pendulum monster. And another one that goes to the graveyard, Performapal Spring Goose. Banish this card from my graveyard to target cards from my Pendulum Zone return back to my hand. Then for a little more boot power, Performapal Claybreaker. If this card battles an opponent's monster, I make my opponent's monster lose 500 attack times however many face-up pendulum monsters I have in my extra deck. So let's say I have 6 pendulum monsters in my extra deck, my opponent monster will lose 3,000 attack points. Then I got Performapal Elf Hammer, which is good for getting rid of my opponent's spells and traps off the field to where I can unleash everything else. Then I've got Performapal Slate Hand Magician. I can discard a card, target a face-up card in the field, and destroy it. Performapal Sky Magician. I only use his second effect. If he leaves the field, I can destroy a card in the field. Then for more power, for my pendulum portion, Performapal King Bear. His pendulum effect. Once per turn during the end phase, this card was activated this turn. You can destroy this card and add one level 7 or higher monster from me to your hand. That is either in the graveyard or face up in your extra deck. But he cannot be, and he also is monster. He cannot be destroyed by spell or trap cards while in physical attack position, and this card gains 100 attack for each Performapal card I control. Then, unfortunately, I only have one. I'm seeking more, but sadly, I don't have the money to do so. Pendulum Sorcerer, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows what he does already. Then, going to the ones that are pretty much banned, as far as I know. Monkey Board, he's only in here just to search up a scale, which once I manage to get more Pendulum Sorcerers, I can probably remove him. He's just in here just to assist, since I don't have another Pendulum Sorcerer yet. Then I got Performapal Coin Dragon. Protect all my Dragon-type monsters and add a little more attack points. Then I've got Performapal Radish Horse. I can weaken an opponent's monster by his attack and add basically he's got 500 base attack. That's if I don't mess with his attack points at all. Weaken the opponent's monster by 500. Strengthen another monster by 500. And his pendulum effect, once per turn, you can target a face-up monster my opponent controls, add one Performapal monster I control. Add one Performapal monster you control that opponent's monster loses attack equal to the attack Performapal monster. See, It took a minute because I don't typically use him in the scale. I'll strengthen him up and weaken the opponent's monster and strengthen my own, like for instance Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Then I got Performapal Drumarilla, Performapal Cell Shell Crab, Performapal Fire Flux to stop my opponent from activating their spells and traps when I'm attacking. Then for Pendulum Power, Fusion Power, I've got Performapal Trump Girl and 2 Performapal Yugo Golems. And then this is one that I plan on removing in the end as well. Unfortunately, I need him until I get the other cards I need. 3 Performapal Skullcrobat Joker. He does search and print any card in my deck, any monster. Then for my Magician support, I've got Oath Dragon Magician and Noble Dragon Magician. Used to getting Odd Eyes back and used to Synchro Summon. Then for my Odd Eyes support in the main deck, I've got 2 Performapal Odd Eyes Unicorn. When this card is normal or special summon, they can target a Performapal monster from my graveyard, gain life points equal to its attack. He's also a scale 8, which is very, very useful. Then once while this card is in your Pendulum Zone, when an Odd Eyes monster you control declares an attack, you can target one of the Performapal monster you control. The attacking monster gains attack equal to the original attack of the targeted monster on the field until the end of the battle phase. So use that with Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Then target someone like my Sleight Hand, gain an additional 25, and then all the battle damage you would do would be doubled. And if you combo that with Fire Flux, the opponent can't activate anything in response. Then I got 1 Performapal Odd Eyes Light Phoenix. And then the biggest beat stick of my main deck, my Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon and my Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon. Any battle damage inflicted doubled, and if he was used in the Pendulum Zone, I can add a Pendulum monster 1500 less attack to my deck from my deck to my hand. And him, when an Odd Eyes monster is destroyed, I can special summon an Odd Eyes from my hand, deck, or graveyard, except for one of himself. And then for my spells, Performapal Dramatic Theater, my field spell, monsters I control gain 200 attack for each Performapal monster I control with different types. Once per turn, if I control 4 Performapal monsters with different types, I can special summon 1 Odd Eyes monster from my hand, deck, or graveyard. Then, just to reset my hand, I got Performapal Recasting. I can reveal any number of Performapal monsters in my hand, and then shuffle them into my deck and draw a card equal to the number I shuffled, plus 1. Then I've got, for a little extra backup, I've got Illusion Balloons. If a monster I control is destroyed, I can look at the top 5 cards of my deck and special summon any monsters among them that happen to be Performapal. And then for a little extra clearing of the field, I've got Performance Hurricane. I can target cards my opponent controls up to the number of Performapal monsters I control when it turns to the hand. And then Recycle Power with Pot of Riches. I can shuffle 3 Pendulum monsters into my deck that are from my graveyard and or face up my extra deck, then draw 2 cards. For my trap cards, Performapal Revival, 2 Performapal Revival. If a monster I control is a battle or card effect, then special summon 1 Performapal monster from my hand or graveyard. Then I've got Last Minute Cancel. When an opponent's monster declares an attack while I control an attack position monster, I change all monsters I control to defense position until the end of the turn. And any Performapal monsters that happen to be destroyed during that turn are returned to my hand. Then I've got Pendulum Switch. It's good for just switching my monsters into scale and vice versa. Then, just for a little extra defense power, got 1 Mirror Force. Then from my extra deck, and this is, and the amount I'm going to show you right now, is more than the technical right amount, but they are not all used. This is just cards that are between a side and an extra deck that I'm just going to, that I take out and use depending on duel to duel. Performapal Gatling Ghoul, which is very, very powerful and highly easy to summon. I can just summon him with Trump Girl and Odd Eyes. This card fusion summon, I can inflict 200 damage opponent for each card in the field. Now, if this card was fusion summoned using a Pendulum monster as material, I destroy one monster my opponent controls, and if I do, inflict damage my opponent equals to the monster's original attack. Very, very powerful. Then I've got Odd Eyes Vortex. And this card is special summon, I can target the face of attack which monster my opponent controls and return it to the hand. When a spell trap card my opponent controls is activated, I can quickly activate. I can shuffle one pendulum monster from my extra deck into my deck, negate the activation, destroy it. Good for preventing my opponent from activating their spells or traps. Then for a little extra backbone, which will be taken out eventually, Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom. Just good for stealing monster effects. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Then I've got my Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Rune Eyes Pendulum Dragon, which is good for offense. Combo with Coin Dragon. And then my last fusion, Mud Dragon of the Swamp, which should just add a little bit of defense power. Then for my synchro options, I've got 2 Odd Eyes Meteor Burst, 1 Black Rose Dragon, just to kind of save me if needed. I've got a Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which is essentially the same as Clear Wing, but with a stronger effect. Then I've got 1 Stardust Spark Dragon to protect my cards. Then for Xyz, got 1 Granosaurus for a rank 3 option, a Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon for power option, number 103 Ragna Zero for draw power and destruction power, Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion for extra power and destruction, number 58 Burner Visor for a little extra attack direct options, Shark Fortress for offensive and defensive options, because since he's the only monster my opponent will be allowed to attack, and I can target another monster I control and make it allow it to attack directly. Combo with that, plus another Xyz, especially if it's an Odd Eyes, like the next one on the list, which is Odd Eyes Absolute. Use him, target, attack twice, attack direct. And if you combo that with Fire Flux, it's an Odd Eyes, the opponent can't activate spells or traps when it's attacking. And finally, for the last Xyz, for a little extra power, I've got number 62, Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon. But without Galaxy Eyes, it will do half damage. But with the 4,000 attack points, it's still good for getting through the opponent's monsters. You might not do a whole lot of damage, but it gets through the opponent's monsters. But that is my deck. I know some cards are illegal right now, but right now, like I said, just for fun, just to mess around, have fun with the friends, and yeah. But yeah, not all the cards in the extra deck I showed you are used in a single duel. I take them out depending on who I am versing. But yeah, Master Kane, I hope you enjoyed the video. Out.